Всем привет! Меня зовут Юля, и я сейчас сижу с моим компьютером в ресторане Moscow57. К нам сегодня пришли Cleve Douglass и Tony Romano, композитор и певец на альбоме Desert Flower. Эти джазовые музыканты буквально ворвались на музыкальный Олимп и покрыли сердце джазовых любителей по всему миру. В феврале Douglass и Romano едут в Россию на гастроли, и первая остановка в Москве. Just in case you're wondering what that all meant, I'm sitting here inside the Moscow57 restaurant with my guests Cleve Douglass and Tony Romano, who are the co-producer and featured vocalist on the album Desert Flower. So, I asked you this already, you guys, but are you ready for your tour in Russia?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? So this is Cleve's third time,
My
correct?
third, yes.
And Tony's fourth time in Russia. And they were telling me earlier that the one question that they get most often is, are you cold?
Are you cold?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
So tell me real quick, how do you think the weather compares after this polar vortex that we just went through in New York? Not so bad, right?
No, I think we're ready for Russia.
Yeah?
Yeah, but we've never actually been there in the winter. We've only been there in the fall, so I'm sure we'll have something to learn.
Yeah,
from the
you're
weather.
in for a treat. So another question that I wanted to ask, you've obviously been to Russia a few times. How are you received when you go abroad versus the reception that you get here in America?
Oh, wow. It's a great reception there. The people seem to be, when you leave the States, people are more hungry, I think, for jazz. There seems to be more of an eagerness to hear, and it's a wider range of ages of people that you see at the concerts. You see from kids, teenagers, all the way to elderly people. The reception is great.
Yeah, it's there's not as much accessibility of jazz in Russia as there is here in New York. So, of course, when we go over there, it's a bit of a treat that, for us as well as for the audience, to bring the music to them that they may be listening to on records or watching on video. But here in New York, it's happening all over town every night of the week.
Mm-hmm. Well, in Russia, jazz is referred to as like freedom music because it was so heavily played like during times of war and like during times of struggle, basically. So would you say that the people there are more like excited to hear your music, more they anticipate it more than people here because you said it's so like commonly played?
Well, the music itself, jazz came out of a struggle in the United States, so it makes sense to me that they would identify with it on those terms. But it's not. A lot of its meaning in this day and age, from that perspective, is lost with the younger generation. It's not. That's not in the forefront of their mind. Would you agree, Cleve?
Yeah, I think also, I was told by several people in Russia that when they were kids growing up, that their parents had sort of bootleg recordings of jazz that they kept secret, and they would pass the tapes from one family to another family, and they would become sort of destroyed after a time. The tapes would get so old that you could barely have sound. So hearing it live for them is something that they appreciate, that we take for granted here, that we've never not been allowed to hear it.
And is that something that you're like actively trying to do? You're trying to bring jazz to a younger generation, trying to make them appreciate it as much as their parents did?
Well, it's difficult here because of the media, but there you have a more natural appreciation for it because it's something that people actually are seeking, that they're wanting. We met teenage kids who actually check the papers to find jazz listings and take it to their parents and say, please take me to this concert. So they aren't really forced to or really encouraged. They themselves, upon themselves, they want to do this. They're eager.
Yeah, and I think European countries in general have always had a broader sense of music especially in contemporary times, than we have here, where you can be places and you could hear on the same radio program, you could hear jazz, rock, blues, classical, all in the same program, as opposed to here where you have stations programming those things specifically. So there's a very broad audience over there, which makes it a little bit different to bring the music there.
Yeah. So out of all of the places that you have been in Russia so far, what is your favorite place to play?
That's it.
That's
Boy,
tough.
I don't know who's going to watch this.
Am I opening a can of worms?
Well, they're all so different, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I mean, we were one place.
You
they
pick one
called
and I'll
it,
pick one.
Well, there was one place they called Little Miami or Russian Miami.
Oh, was that Samara?
In Samara, that we were so shocked because I got out. When we arrived there, I thought this is the first time I can wear sunglasses, because all of a sudden people were in shorts and T-shirts
Yeah, it
and
was
sunglasses,
more stuff,
and it felt like it was more, warmer climate. And this is not too far from Georgia, so we had Georgian food,
Yeah.
a type
that
of
was great.
palmani sort of thing, and I was asking for the cooks to please come out, and we took pictures.
We actually took pictures
with
of the food there,
cooks,
yeah, it was
and we
quite
took pictures of the food. And,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my favorite, I think most surprising visit was in Yakutsk,
Yeah,
which
that's
is in Siberia.
You took two now. That was going to be mine.
That was yours?
Yeah, that was mine.
Well, I know, right? It has to be a high number one up there, yeah.
Yeah, Yakutsk was amazing. Like we had heard, stories. Oh my God, you're going to Siberia, and and we got there and we were like, the reception was amazing, but it was also just we literally got off the plane, dropped our bags at the hotel, and were taken to a Yakutian temple, and they had nobody there but this shaman, and he performed a ceremony just for the band. He kind of did a blessing, and
Very cool.
we drank this very interesting fermented horse milk as part of the, like you would out of like a wooden chalice, kind of like a communion. That was interesting. But the people were amazing, and the landscape there was very interesting. It was a great place.
So you mentioned the horse milk, but I want to ask, have you guys tried any really weird Russian dishes? Because there are some, I admit.
I had, unbeknownst to me, I had some horse. I was having dinner, and I said, "Oh, this is really good." It seemed like it was some type of sort of like a prosciutto or salami, and then somebody said, "I said, what is this?" And they said, "This is horse meat," and I was like, "Oh." And I had already eaten a bunch, and it was good, so I kept eating.
Well, I had horse, but I'm used to eating horse because I've eaten horse before in other places. But we were out eating, and our drummer had these very small things that looked like sausages, maybe. And so I asked him, "What is this?" And it turns out that it was the intestines of a horse, which I hadn't had before. They were tiny little patties of
I see that's one of your
horse
favorites.
intestines.
Yeah, I know. I see, I'm a vegetarian.
Oh.
Probably for that reason. No, see, I'm from Ukraine. I'm from Odessa, which is right on the Black Sea.
Yes.
So we always used to get fresh fish there.
Fish. Oh,
So,
yes.
yeah. So I eat fish, but I don't eat meat. And no horse.
And no horse.
No horse patties.
But the thing about Russia that I think I've been to 15 cities now, and every city I go to, it has such a deep and sort of unique culture and spirit to it, and they're all beautiful places, and they're just full of history, and it's really great to be able to experience that. It's something I don't take for granted.
Yes. Yeah. That's why it's hard to choose.
Well, it's so great when you go on these tours to other countries. You immerse yourself in the culture, and you guys are going to be there from the 13th to the 25th,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
So, and you're going to be visiting a bunch of cities.
Yeah, I think
What are some of the places?
Well, we start in Moscow at the Durov Club. We go to Ekaterinburg from there. Go to Smolensk, St. Petersburg, Moscow again. And Kazan. Yaroslav. Kazan. Yeah. I know there's another one, but I'm not sure.
Well, we can definitely put a link to that. So before we wrap this up, I want to teach you guys some Russian for your trip. Is there anything you want to learn?
How do you say, I don't speak Russian?
That's a good one. No, my French teacher in high school used to tell me that you should know that phrase in like 15 different
In every language,
because
yes.
it really helps.
Yes.
But it's я не говорю по-русски. So I'm going to have you repeat that to me now.
Slowly.
Я,
Yeah.
that means I. Не говорю,
Не говорю
which is don't speak. По-русски.
По-русски.
Okay, so я не
Yeah.
говорю по-русски.
Я не говорю по-русски.
По-русски.
It's close enough. All right.
And
so-
after that, they'll know. They'll realize after they hear that.
Yeah. They'll be just like in the middle of it. They'll be like, it's
Yes,
it's
right at
fine.
the middle, they'll
It's
totally
cool.
understand. Yes,
And-
absolutely.
And a more important bit of information would be found on our Facebook page,
Yes.
Yes.
Leto Records, Leto, on Facebook has all our concert dates and some videos we're posting of it, and you can find out more information about the band on that.
And we'll definitely post all of these links down below in the little bar thing, new to YouTube. But thank you guys so much for coming and having drinks with me. This is water, you guys. They got wine. So as we say in Russian before we drink, здоровья. And thank you so much for watching. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
will clink.
All right.